Read and understand the installation and owner's manual before attempting to install or operate this water heater. This video is intended to supplement the owner's manual, not replace it. Pay particular attention to the safety instructions to minimize the risk of fire or explosion, electric shock, personal injury, loss of life, or property damage. This water heater must be installed in accordance with the instructions in your owner's manual, local codes, utility company requirements, or in the absence of local codes, the latest edition of the National Electrical Code. The GE hybrid water heater has been designed so that it can be installed very similar to that of a traditional electric tank water heater. In fact, the diameter, height, water connection points, and electrical connection are almost identical to that of a traditional 50-gallon tall water heater. Water connection sizes and the electrical requirement remain the same in comparison to a standard electric water heater. A quick installation guide with checklist is attached to the unit along with the traditional use and care manual. The carton containing the GE hybrid water heater weighs approximately 220 pounds and is 65 inches tall by 26 inches wide by 28.5 inches deep. The carton can be laid down on its backside if necessary during transportation. Be careful when handling the unit, as most of the weight is at the top, as this is where the heat pump components are located. Before uncrating the unit, make sure the box is standing upright and you have enough overhead room for the clearance of the carton sleeve when lifted. To open and uncrate the unit, carefully cut both the upper and lower strap at the fold of the box and lift the main sleeve of the carton up and over, leaving the water heater on the base pack of the carton. Remove the interior shipping materials and carefully lift the unit off the base of the carton. Use an appliance dolly or lift the water heater by the neck of the unit. The hybrid is designed to handle structural loads from the neck, so be sure to grasp this area when handling and lifting. Tilting the unit briefly during handling to move into place is acceptable. The hybrid is designed so that the removal of the plastic cover is not required during installation. Refer to the quick install sheet that is taped to the front cover of the water heater. This bright yellow one-page installation guide with a checklist is provided in English on the front side and Spanish on the back side. Check for proper room size before placing the unit. It is fine to install the unit in a room that is less than 700 cubic feet, or 10 by 10 by 7, as long as the room has proper ventilation, such as a louvered door. Next, be sure to allow for proper clearance around the water heater as specified in the installation instructions and checklist. GE recommends the back of the hybrid must be at least 7 inches from the wall, and 5.5 inches of clearance need to be maintained around the tank. This will ensure proper airflow and the ability for shroud removal in the future. Special attention in regards to clearance is also needed on the top of the unit. GE recommends that 14 inches of clearance are maintained for proper air filter screen removal. Be sure that the water pipe connections and the electrical connection do not interfere with the removal of the air filter screen for cleaning. Once you have properly placed the hybrid, check the room size, and determine the correct clearance, it is a good idea to check the level of the unit. If needed, use shims to level the water heater. This will make sure that condensate drains correctly from the pan to the drain tubes within the heat pump. You are now ready for water and electrical installation. Connect the water inlet and outlet supply lines and TMP overflow exactly like that of a traditional tank water heater. Be sure to place a shutoff valve on the cold water supply line, just like a traditional installation. Be sure the breaker to the water heater is turned off before making any electrical connections. The 240 volt 30 amp electrical connection is found in the same top location as a traditional electric water heater, and it connects the same way as well. The next step is the main difference between the GE hybrid and a traditional water heater. 2 condensate drain lines are located on the back of the water heater. The lower is the main drain line and the upper is an overflow line. Condensate drain tubing is provided and installed on the back of the unit. The lower line needs to be properly routed to a gravity floor drainer standpipe, just like a home air conditioning system requires. If a suitable drain is not available for condensate, a condensate drain pump with a minimum capacity of 1 gallon per day must be provided and installed. Although the upper overflow drain does not have to be routed, it is an important part of the system due to it being a visual indicator of a clogged primary drain. If the main condensate line was to become clogged or kinked, the upper drain would allow for condensate to exit the system and not drip moisture into the inside of the unit. However, the upper drain tube can be extended by the installer and routed to a gravity drain as well, if desired. Now it is time to fill the unit with water. Be sure to open a hot water faucet in the home to vent the tank as the unit is filling to allow all the trapped air to escape. After the tank has been filled, check the connections for leaks. Now you're ready to energize the water heater. Press the power button on the interface to turn the unit on. The LCD display screen will ask the installer to fill and vent the tank, then acknowledge that this step has been properly executed. After telling the system that the fill has been executed, the system will run a dry fire diagnostic check and the unit will make no noise for approximately 3 minutes. After this time has passed, if the system determines the tank is full, the fans and compressor will start and run for 5 minutes. If the system determines that the tank is not filled, an alarm will sound alerting the installer the tank is not full, and the LCD screen will request that this process be done. It will then repeat the diagnostic check once the installer acknowledges on the interface that the tank has been filled. If the tank is properly filled, the unit will move into hybrid operating mode at 120 degrees Fahrenheit as set from the factory. Read Owner's Manual Safety section before adjusting temperature. Once the unit has started normal operation, and if it is left in hybrid mode, the compressor will turn off, the upper heating element will turn on, and it will quickly recover the top 30% of the tank to the user set point so the user has hot water within 20 minutes. Then, the upper element will turn off, and the compressor will turn back on to finish heating the remainder of the tank using the heat pump. Be sure to check that the air filter screen removal is not blocked and double check that the condensate drain line has been properly installed. A quick start guide explaining the operating modes and things to expect is attached to the unit to walk a consumer or installer through how to operate the water heater. The GE Hybrid water heater is now installed and ready for use.